today's episode, we are going to be handling date formatting and timestamps. And in the completed version of the project that we see on the simulator here, as you can see, each channel has a specific time for the last message that was sent into that channel. And also each message, if we navigate into that inside of a chat room, each message actually has a timestamp that is accurately represented. And so we are going to go right ahead and handle that functionality in today's episode. We need to create a couple of extensions. And so I'm going to go right into our extension folders right here. And I'm going to create a date extension. So it's a Swift file, and I'm going to say date plus extensions. And I'm going to get right into it. I'm just going to extend the date object. And the first one that I want to do is I want a day or time representation. So like the channel has, for example, a day or time representation, and I would like for us to handle that. And so I'm going to go right in here, and I'm going to just create a computer property. I'll just call it day or time representation. And it's going to return a string. And what does this do? Well, we need to create the calendar. We need to get the current calendar. So we're going to say calendar.current, and we need to create a date formatter. Okay, now we're going to say if the calendar is today, right? We're going to return some sort of a timestamp that is in like hour, minutes, and seconds. And else, if calendar is let's see, not today, it's yesterday. Okay, we're going to just return a string that says yesterday. Else, we're just going to return, let's see, we're going to say date formatter, date format. We're going to do something like month, day, I think that's how we do that, and year format. And we're going to do return date formatter, the string from our date, because we're inside of a date extension. All right, so let's see. Why is this yelling at us? All right, so we need to handle the today version of our date formatter, and I'm just going to go right ahead and say date formatter, the date formats, and the format that we want to use is hour, I think that's what that means, minutes, and seconds, if I'm not wrong. So I'm going to say let formatter date. I'm going to say date formatter, get it from the string, and I'm going to return that formatter date. All right, so essentially what we want to do here is we want a situation where it would return something like, if it's today, for example, we want to return something like 3:30 p.m. Yeah, actually, that's not seconds. That A stands for PM or AM. I actually forgot about that. And, if it's yesterday, returns yesterday, right? Now I can't spell. And if it's not yesterday, it's just going to return, else it's going to return something like 02, for example, I'm just making stuff up, 14, right? 24. Or 23, whatever. So that's what this date or time representation is. And we're going to use it inside of our channel. So let's jump right into our channels folder. Let's open up our channel item view. And inside of our channel item view right here, instead of using this stop data or this magic string, we're just going to say channel dot time last message timestamp dot, let's see, we want something like, is this timestamp? That's a date. Last message timestamp, that's a date. And we want, what did we call it again? Day or time representation. So if we resume this in a simulator, let's see what that shows for us, because I know we have a placeholder channel. All right, as you can see, that shows my current time, which is absolutely correct. All right, so let's go and do the same thing for our messages. And I'm just going to create a new one. I'm going to call this one formatted time. I think that's a good name. Or format to time. I think that's a better one, because this is just going to be time representations. And all we're going to do is actually what we're doing right up here. So I'm just going to say let date formatter. We're going to grab our date formatter, and we're going to grab the same date format that we're using right here, the time format. And we're going to say formatted date from the string of self. We're going to return that formatted date. Actually, it should be formatted time, because that's really what we're doing here. All right. And this is going to always return something like this, something like 3:30 or 4:30. It doesn't really take the date into account. It just returns the raw time for that specific date. So now we're going to use this inside of our message text view, or I think we called it bubble text view. So I'm going to go inside of our chat folder, go inside of our views, and we have our bubble text view right here. I'll open it in a new tab. And instead of this magic string, I'll replace it with item dot. We have some sort of a timestamp. And instead of day or time representation, we're going to say formats the time. Or we could have just called this time representation, but it doesn't matter. That works. And as you can see, that puts in the correct time. And you can validate that by saying I'm at 9:21 right now. That says 9:21. So that is awesome. Let's run that really quickly in our simulator and let's validate that our timestamps are actually working. All right, our simulator is running. Okay, as you can see, our channels are properly formatted. They have nice timestamps. And if we go inside of a specific channel, like this direct channel, let's say I send a new message right now, it's 9:22. 9:22. That looks absolutely beautiful. So now that we have our main sort of focus for the day down, I'd actually like for us to handle something really quickly. We have a couple of bugs in our application. So if we jump inside of here, for example, we have our channel title. Let's say we create a new channel that has a super long title. So let's say we have new group and we just select, 3 people. And let's just call this, I love creating iOS content on YouTube. That's a pretty long name. And let's just go create. We just created this channel. As you can see, we are pushing these 2 navigation items. They're kind of squeezed in together. And obviously that's problematic, right? And I know what's causing that inside of our chat room screen. So let's go right ahead and try to fix that. So I'm going to jump into Xcode again. I'm going to go inside of our chat room screen, but I'm going to go channels. Not channel, chat. We have our chat room screen right here. And if we jump into our trailing navigation item functions, as you can see, this is what we want to fix. The title right now is what's squeezing it. This channel, the title, is what's causing this issue. But before we even handle that, let's actually fix this. So right now we're using a circle. Let's fix this by using circular profile image view that we created in the last episode. And we're going to take in the one that takes in a channel parameter. So circular profile image view, channel, the size is going to be, so this says 35. I'm going to guess that's like a mini, but let me jump into that size enum again just to validate if it's a mini. So let's just use a mini. Yep, 30. I'm going to remove this and I'm going to resume my SwiftUI preview, stop the simulator, and let's see what's going on. All right, so everything looks good. Now let us fix this channel title issue. So I would like to truncate our channel title, and I could just fix that really quickly by going here and just creating a computer property called channel title. Of course, we can do this inside of the view model as well, but honestly, there's nothing wrong with doing it inside of a view. And what is this channel title going to do? Well, I want to set a max count. So let's just say the max count of 20, something like that. And let's just create a title. And the title is going to say, let's create a string by getting a prefix of our channel title. So I'm going to say channel, the title, the prefix of our max character that we just created. Okay. What else do we want? So I'm going to say plus, then I'm going to say trailing chars is going to be equals to what? So I'm going to say if the channel dot title dot count is greater than the max characters that we want, we're going to use truncation. Else, it's just an empty string. So I'm going to combine this with our trailing char to form our title, and then I'm going to return that title as the new channel title. So instead of just directly accessing channel dot title inside of this leading navigation item, I'm going to replace this with this title right here, and I believe that should solve our issues. So now if we run our project in the simulator, that should fix the first of our bugs. So if we go into our channel tab screen and we go right here, as you can see, that looks beautiful. That is properly truncating things. And if we go inside of this channel, for example, it fully spells out the channel name. So that's awesome. The next thing I would like for us to do, actually, let's go back to the simulator, is right now we're actually using a navigation link, which is it's a bad idea when we have a massive channel like this, when we have a massive view like our chat room screen. As you can imagine, this chat room screen is going to be doing a lot of stuff. Like when you go inside of a chat room screen, eventually we're going to be fetching all of the members that belongs inside of a channel in a chat room screen. So when you're using a navigation link, let me show you what I mean. If we go inside of our Xcode and let's go inside of our channel tab screen, if I can find our channel tab screen. So right here in our channel tab screen, as you can see, we're using a navigation link. It's actually initializing this chat room screen right here. And that is obviously problematic. We do not want that. We want some sort of a lazy initialization. We don't want to initialize this chat room screen. We don't want to load it into memory until we actually navigate to it. And so what I mean is, even right here, before we navigate to a chat room screen, it's already loaded into memory. And that's obviously problematic. We only want to load it into memory when we actually navigate into it. So we're going to switch from navigation link to navigation destination. And it's pretty easy and pretty straightforward, to be honest. And so I'm going to nuke this navigation link. And inside of this for each, I'm going to create a button instead with a label as usual. And the label is going to be the channel item view as usual. But then this destination, or this action, we're going to use the navigation destination. So let's jump into our channel tab view model. Or actually, before we do that, let's inside of our models right here, we could go right here and inside of our channel folder, let us create a, do we even need a new file? I would not even create a new file for this. I would jump into the channel tab view model. Let's just create a new route. So we need a route to represent the channel tab routes. So I'm just going to call it, channel tab routes. And I believe it needs to be ashable when you're using a navigation destination. So I'm going to say ashable. And this channel tab routes, if I go to Xcode, it's just going to be all the routes that belongs to this specific channel tab. And so the first one that we're dealing with right now is just the chat room. So I'm just going to say case chat room, and it's going to take an associated value, and it's a channel, right? I want to know what channel I'm actually navigating into. And so now right here, this is going to yell at us that channel routes is not ashable. The channel item is not ashable. So let's jump into channel item, and let's make that ashable as well. I think that should fix a lot of our issues. Let's go back. So it says it's not equatable. Well, that fixes it. Okay, so now let's create a publish property right here. So I'm going to go right up here and create a publish property, and I'm just going to call it navigation routes. And the navigation routes is going to be what? Well, it's just going to be an array of our channel tab routes. I'm going to execute that, and then I'm going to take this routes, go back to our channel tab screen right here, and I'm going to say view model dot navigation routes. I think that's what we called it, nav routes dot append. And all I want to append is the chat room. And as you can see, the chat room asks for a associated value. Thankfully, we have that channel inside of our for each right here, and we just pass that in. And it's as simple as that. Well, it's not going to work right now because we need to append a navigation destination modifier to our navigation stack so it can know where to navigate to. So right before the sheets, I'm going to append a navigation destination modifier, destination. So I'm going to use the one that says destination for, I think that's what I'm looking for. And it's, as you can see, it's asking for something that's ashable, and that's the enum we just created. So we're just going to say channel tab routes.self, and the destination, I'm going to use the trailing closure syntax right here. Let me create a little more space here, and I'm going to expand this a little bit. I'm going to say route in, and so I'm going to actually just come down here and just create a function that's going to help us do this. So I'm going to say view builder, because this is going to be a dynamic function. And I'm going to say destination view for routes, and the routes is going to be our channel of type channel tab routes. And all we're going to do right here is we're just going to switch. We're going to switch the routes. We're going to switch on the routes enum, and let's let Xcode do its job. And as you can imagine, the only routes that we have right now, well, Xcode is just being terrible right now, is the chat room routes. So it's asking, it's going to come in with a channel. And now all we need to do is say chat room screen. Chat room screen requires a channel, and thankfully we have that channel being passed into this enum. We're just going to pass that right in here, and that's all we need to do. And of course, we need to make sure that this function is returning a view, because remember, this is a view builder, and we're trying to create a view right here. So now we're going to take this destination view for routes, go right into our navigation destination modifier, and just say destination view for routes. Voila. And let us run our project, and everything should be done. And I think that should be it for this episode. So let's wait for the simulator to build. If we go to our tab, we go to our channel. It's not working. This is great. So let us think for a second. Why is that not firing? Obviously, we are appending our chat room right here when each of the specific channel item is selected. And we have our destination view, right? Oh, actually, I'm sorry, guys. We forgot to pass in the path parameter to our navigation stack. I'm sorry. I'm just being a goofball right now. Of course, you have to pass in your path parameter. So we're going to say our navigation routes. I'm sorry. All right, let's run this, and this should be good to go now. Let's wait for the simulator to compile and do its thing. And if we go to our tab, let's go to a channel. Look at that. Beautiful. 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 Everything is working as expected, and we have our timestamps. And again, just to reiterate really quickly, the reason we migrated away from navigation links is because, as I explained earlier, I really should have shown you guys by having print statements. But essentially, when you have a navigation link like that, it actually initializes the object, the view. And in this case, we do not want to be initializing a chat room screen while we are inside of this, channel list view inside of this tab screen. We only want to initialize a chat room screen when we actually navigate into one, because as you've seen in the upcoming episode, this chat room screen is going to be doing a lot of things. We're going to be doing image picker, voice recording, like it's going to be a lot, video calling. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And the next episode, we are going to start getting started with like image picking functionalities and things of that nature. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It means the world to me. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.